Hey folks, this is Jenny Wren Stotrup of Gritty Birds Podcasting, and today for the Gritty Birds Podcasting Academy video, I'm going to be showing you the DIY home studio I made for while I am visiting Iowa. We ended up having this huge windstorm that created some very scary fires really close to where I live. So I'm right on the edge of Multnomah County, and that is the borderline of Portland and Clackamas County, which is actually where I used to work when I was a Guitar Center. So the level 3 evacuation zone was less than a mile from my house, which made things very, very concerning. But the bigger thing that was concerning, besides those first couple days where I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen, as the winds died down, it became clear that we weren't going to have to evacuate. And I'd even considered evacuating across town to where their family was. The bigger issue became that it was absolutely unbreathable air in our city. So in the first couple days, it went to 150 and then 250. And then at one point, the charts couldn't even read it. And they were saying that we had 19,000 in the air. Anything above 500, you really can't accurately predict, but you can imagine it was not conditions that made it very great. So being somebody who really relies on my voice and honestly was getting kind of depressed, I decided to scoot out of the city and come on out to my hometown of Fort Dodge, Iowa, and actually leave the city for the first time since March. And so my parents and I made a plan, and we went ahead and masked and got a plane that we could be I could be distanced on, and then I ended up setting up a studio in our RV so that I'd be able to keep working and make some videos. One of the big things I'm working on right now are courses. So getting good video is really important. And the first thing we noticed when we stepped inside the studio was that it was very, very dark. And so my dad and I were just sitting there and brainstorming. I brought a bunch of gear with me in the first place, and we ended up pulling together a lighting studio, and I ended up actually sourcing gear from people around town, but I also brought some other little pieces of gear to make this really, really work. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the other camera so you can get kind of an idea of what the studio looks like from this other end. All right, so this is the studio. This is my dog, Maggie. Hi, say hi. I'm going to move this boom arm so that you don't have to have that in the way. I love these kinds of boom arms because they make it really simple for you to be able to, even as simple as that, I can actually completely remove it. And this was actually a boom arm that I brought from Portland because all I had to be able to do for that was to disconnect it and put it in my suitcase. So I've got my MIDI keyboard right here. I'm taking a songwriting workshop. And then I also have a keyboard that I borrowed from a friend so I can do some of the writing. It's not hooked up right now because I have this camera hooked up. I've got my computer, and you're going to notice that we have braces. So you've got these 3 braces right here. So when I was going ahead and finding these lights, I was down at my dad's shop, and we immediately realized that this level of lights is perfect. And then I've got a 3-point right here. There it is. So there it is. I've got 3 lights, and if I turn this on, that's a pretty bright situation. So when I'm traveling, it's not easy for me to bring along everything, but I love being able to use a stand like this to be able to prop up and have the height. And then as you can see, it can also then have a really easy access to the camera. And then I've got my keyboard, so I'm still able to have that straight level for me to be able to do all my editing for my clients, which is fantastic. And then I brought my Babyface Pro with me, and I also have connected the Deity Lav, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that on another day. It actually ended up being a lifesaver to have that lavalier because I found out that I had some issues with static again with my interface. One thing I always suggest is to have a couple different options for being able to record. If I didn't have this one, I also will always have Apple earbuds with me because that audio is better than nothing if you're traveling. I experienced this when I was at NAMM this spring as well because I had a theft right before I left, and I was able to use the Shure MV88 Plus for that, which is a really great portable microphone, but having something that connects directly to the computer is even better. it's pretty simple. I've got the books that I need. I'm taking those classes, anything I want with notes. I brought a couple different microphones, and then I have just like a basket for a bunch of random things, cables. The fact is, you never know when you're traveling quite what you're going to need. And having all of those things at your fingertips makes it so much easier in the long run. So I've really enjoyed the studio, and I'm just about to head back to Portland, and you can see my studio there. I'll show you and give you a tour as well. I've got a lot more things in there, and it's a wonderful space. The one thing I've loved about the RV studio is that the sound is actually really nice and damp, even better than my home studio. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the Gritty Birds Podcasting Academy. Right now, if you're watching this particular week when it came out, is I do still have the deal with Podcasters Kit, so you can get that 30-minute consult with me and then also be able to take my vocal mastery workshop that's going to be coming up. So this is the info on that. And if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and mark them below. The microphones, this is the Deity Lav that I'm using. That other microphone that I was using was the Technica BP40. And then I'm using this through the Babyface Pro. Currently, I have my routing set so I can hear them through my in-ears when I'm listening back. It just looks a little bit better for video. And if I'm doing lives, I can actually still hear what else is going on. But again, it's more for the presentation that I have these in. The headphones that I'm normally using are my beautiful DT770 Studios. Love these guys, and that's what I use for reference audio when I'm traveling, and also I always use those along with my speakers, but you'll see those when I'm back in Portland. All right, thanks guys, I'll see you soon, and hope you're having a wonderful day. All right, bye.